Today in the basement, I'm joined by Austin Ekeler, a true NFL underdog turned fantasy football superstar. We talked about his mindset, his charity fantasy football leagues, his stance on my gorgeous mustache.
Really? Really? You know?
And a heck of a lot more. So if you want to get to know the real Austin Ekeler, this is it. Plus, stick around for details on how you can win this autographed Austin Ekeler jersey right here in episode 59 of Inside the 20. Let's get into it. There is arguably no better feeling in fantasy football than when you land an absolute steal. You get my 2025 Fantasy Football Draft Dominator, which is jam-packed with strategy and analysis for 250-plus players. And he's been strong in fantasy football. He's averaging over 18 fantasy points per game over 25 career games where he's played at least 73% of the offensive snaps. 2025 Week Winner, formerly known as the Heat Map. So you can conquer start-sit dilemmas, find plug-and-play streamers, and dominate your weekly matchups with this one-of-a-kind resource Discord community, where you can get personalized advice from 180-plus and counting sharp fantasy football minds that are helping each other dominate. 365 days of elite fantasy football analysis, resources, and Discord community. All right, y'all, today we've got a very special guest in the basement with us. You know him as a fantasy football cheat code. I know him as the guy, the reason why my name is on that fantasy football trophy behind me. But above all else, he just seems like a super good dude who's given a ton back to the community. Austin Ekeler, welcome to the basement. Thanks for hanging out with us today, man.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me to the basement. I love that. I think that's just so welcoming and warm, and seems like a select group. Like, hey, we're in my group, my squad in the basement, hanging out with the boys.
It's just the boys, yeah, and gals. We got plenty, but just the crew hanging out in the basement.
Respect to the women out there too.
I guess sometimes it could sound a little bit creepy though, like being in the basement. I don't know, but we'll skip past that. But yeah, man, your story, dude. I mean, it's the stuff that Hollywood makes movies about, like 0-star recruit. You only got one, from what I saw, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but you got one Division II offer specifically to play running back. Undrafted free agent in 2017. Your fantasies, you worked your way up to fantasies RB4 in 2019, RB2 in 2021, the top dog in 2022, named All-Pro with Washington last year. It's Hollywood stuff, my guy. And that leads me to my first question, my audience question of the day. It comes from Andrew Kowalski. He wants to know, you've gone from undrafted to one of the most productive running backs in all of football. What mindset or daily habits do you credit most for making the leap when so many others didn't?
Wow, great question.
Coming in hot right away.
Yeah, I think this has been a lifestyle choice, and maybe not even a choice, but something that was really instilled in me from a young age. And some of the things that have kind of formed me and my character was a lot of manual labor when I was younger. I used to build a lot of barbed wire fences with my mom's ex-husband, and it was a lot of grueling hot days. And then I would use sports to get away. And when we worked, it was like run, like you run from post to post, from rolling out the wire, everything. And so that work ethic was really instilled in me. We lived on a ranch, so I also had a lot of animals to take care of. And so my responsibility at a young age was very high. And I think that helped me understand kind of what work is and how to go about work and the right way to work. And that's how we did it when I was younger. And then that same mindset carried with me into sports. And really now how I characterize it as today is it's just relentless pursuit of the opportunity in front of me. Like, it is undeniable. I am going everything in to make this work because I have chosen this path and I'm going to put my energy into this. And I don't want it to be something that I didn't do to cause me to fail. I don't want to be sitting here at the end of the day saying, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that. When I put my mind to something, it's go for it. And so for me, just a little bit of backstory, quick tangent. I didn't even really have my mindset on the NFL. I was going to school for business and had a job offer. I was going to go work in an oil and gas company on the business side. I was going to use that money to go and start getting into real estate. was using football to pay for my school. Didn't have a full ride because we were Division II. So really took school and took football seriously, keeping that same mindset coming out of high school, going into college, and really put my sight on trying to build something in the professional world, but then ended up giving myself an opportunity because of that mindset in the sports world.
I love that, man. That's awesome. And just a quick backstory for you, and nobody's here to listen to me ramble on, that's for sure. But the reason that resonates for me and connects with me, I actually quit my corporate career in March of 2022, B2B sales for about a decade. And eventually I was like, man, I got one life to live. This isn't how I want to spend it. So I up and quit that. And I was like, I want to spend my one life doing the one thing that brings me energy and joy and passion. So I started this fantasy football company, and it's been a wild ride. But I love the idea of work ethic and just creating what you want.
I think, there's two ways to think of that, or I guess one way that I really like that story, because, you might have had to do something that you didn't necessarily want to do, but you had to do it because it gave you the means to fend for yourself and, your family, and so for you, that's what you have to do. And that's what a lot of situations are. Situations are, hey, I know I don't necessarily want to be in this space, but I have to do something. But in the meantime, where can I keep my passions alive? How can I continue to push in that direction as well? And just think of maybe your temporary spot as the means of you growing yourself so that you'll be better in the next thing. Because your second opportunity is only going to be better, in my opinion, if you take advantage of the one that you have now. Because if you're like, oh, I'm in this job, I really don't like it, and I'm just kind of moseying by, well, now you're setting yourself up to fail for the next one, because no one's going to want to hire that type of energy. They want someone who's a go-getter, someone who's pushing forward. So I'm not trying to get super motivational here, but I love that because, it sounds like you put in the work, you grinded, and then you built yourself into the person that was able to take that next step and build that confidence and go after your passion in the next journey.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. And I've been saying on podcasts and all that stuff that I felt like that first decade led me to that point of acquiring all the skills I needed to jump into the next thing. So
yeah.
Anyway, man, we'll touch on all that stuff another time. Are you a software wizard, a code ninja, a forge master, or maybe even just a mad scientist? Then come build your career ladder with Infinity Labs, an award-winning technology company, best place to work, and business of the year with best-in-class benefits and compensation. Visit i-labs.tech. That's i-labs.tech today, where you can learn more about Infinity Labs, our expanding national presence, and why the status quo has no hold on us. One of the questions that I did want to dig into was that process for you back in 2017, right? You're an undrafted free agent. Let's just even talk about before that real quick. You're leading up to the draft. Did you know going into it that it was going to be a UDFA type of situation, or was there hope that there was going to be a call on draft day? What was going through your mind at that time?
Yeah, going into that process, my agent pretty much made me aware that teams and scouts had me as an undrafted kind of grade in this grading system. I was never like a 5-star or anything like that. I never had any. I didn't make the star cut to even get evaluated for stars. So,
but eventually you did.
But in college they don't really have, I guess, stars. It's more so just scouts, evaluating you. But they had the undrafted grade on me, and so going into that was kind of what I was expecting. Would love to have had my name called just for that special moment. But now, even looking back, just because of the way mine played out, it was actually better for me to have a 3-year deal because I got to my second year 1 year quicker than I would have.
Yep.
Obviously don't get the drafted moment. So, take which one you want.
Yeah. Trade off.
Hindsight 2020. And so for me, it was more so, look, I had taken advantage of my college opportunity. I was like freshman offensive player of the year, 4-time, All-American, 3-time academic American, like all the accolades, everything I could have done. Like I took advantage of that opportunity. And so I knew going into it that I had put myself in a position with a good pro day, all of that stuff, all that preparation, that was it. That was everything you could have got out of my body and my mind. And so if I get picked up in a 7th round, great. If I go undrafted, great. If not, it's still okay because I'm gonna take that energy and I'm gonna go do something else.
There you go.
And so for me, that was the story and kind of my expectation going in.
Love it, man. That's awesome. And I got to know, were there other teams besides the Chargers calling?
Yeah, so there was actually a few teams that were interested. I know the Saints were one of them. Green Bay was one of them. Green Bay at the time had 0 running backs on their roster. And so probably every running back had them at number 1. We want to go there because it's, a free slate. Anyone can, have an opportunity to compete.
Sure.
Chargers were number 2 on my list. And that's because they had their starter, Melvin Gordon, who was a first-round pick, but then had a lot of younger guys who had kind of been journeymen jumping around from team to team. So it seemed like a great opportunity to go compete in that room. But yeah, there was a few others. I think the Falcons were others, and the Broncos. Actually, I'm from Colorado, and never had like a Colorado scout come talk to me or anything like that. So that was one that was like, what the heck, I'm in your backyard. But yeah, there was a few.
That was so I'm going to jump ahead just real quick because one of the audience questions I was going to ask comes from a Basement Brewed Fantasy Football member of mine and a great friend. His name's Greg Quirk. He's in Colorado. He was wondering if you had a team that you rooted for growing up and if it was the Broncos. And if it was the Broncos, he was wondering if it was weird when you went up against Denver for the first time or if there was any sort of if you thought differently about it when you played against them.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of a different answer because I actually didn't watch the NFL till my junior year of college. So after my junior year of college, my head coach had come to me and said, "Hey, man, you have some NFL scouts that are interested in you." And this was a big deal because I went to a small Division II. No one from my school had ever gone to the NFL. So I've never seen a scout on campus. There's never been a pro day on campus. There's no talk of NFL ever happening on our football team or our campus.
Sure.
Because we were a small mountain town D2 team. So, think of a small school, now put them up in the mountains where it's a lot of outdoor recreation, fly fishing, snow, skiing, snowboarding, stuff, like all that stuff. So very remote little place. And so for me growing up though, this might, piss off a lot of Colorado fans, but I watched Nebraska because my cousin coached at Nebraska. So we watched the Cornhuskers play football. So that was kind of my upbringing and my introduction to sports. And, I grew up on a ranch, like I mentioned. And so we watched a lot of bass fishing and professional bull riding. Like we were straight country out there until about, like I said, my junior year.
Awesome, man. All right. I love that. All right, dude, let's talk fantasy football, right? And it's, sometimes I bring up fantasy football to an NFL player and it's met with like, I don't really want to touch that, but you're known to embrace it. In fact, you're running charity fantasy football leagues through the Austin Ekeler Foundation. Let's talk about charity draft, everything that you're doing there. So right now, everybody that's tuning in, you're talking to folks that live and breathe fantasy football. That's my audience. That's who I talk to. Tell them about charity draft. Tell them about your charity fantasy football leagues, why they should join, where and how they should join. And we can include all of this in the show notes as well.
Awesome. Yeah, I think one thing that you mentioned, you started at the beginning, fantasy football is seen to be, from an athlete's perspective, as really kind of outside noise. Because for us, our job is to help our team win, which is our team. From the fantasy point, you guys want your team to win, which is not the logo team that we're playing for. You have basically created your own logo. So there's some conflict of interest for us as players. But what I've recognized is that there's a huge community of people that are passionate about fantasy football. And so I was like, this is an opportunity for us as athletes to actually take this as an opportunity to help not only make fantasy football better, but also help our charities and things that we're involved as well. And so what we're doing with Charity Draft is basically offering up different prizes, signed gear, game tickets, event tickets. We have a bunch of like coaching that you can get, some free fantasy guides that you can get. So it's a pretty robust offering of prizes. And what you can do is sign up for someone's league. There's a registration fee. That fee goes to that person's charity of choice. And then you get the opportunity to learn and compete in that league for that year. So we have, I think, 20 guys, some retired guys like Ray Lewis, Brian Dawkins, and then people like myself are on there as well. We have Marcus Mariota. We have like 20 guys. You can check it out at charitydraft.com. This is a project that I've done for the last 4 years for myself. And now expanding that to other guys this year. And so, for example, like if you make the playoffs in one of my leagues, we actually give you tickets to the Commanders-Eagles game. So there's definitely some worthy prizes to go check out in there. And we're really excited to be expanding it across the league and looking forward to hopefully having this every single year.
That's awesome, man. And quick clarifying question. Do the players play in these leagues? Like, is Ray Lewis playing in the league? Is Austin Ekeler playing in the league?
So for current players, we actually are not allowed to play in these leagues because the prize is worth more than $250.
Got it.
If the prize was less than $250, we could absolutely play in these leagues, but then it wouldn't be as fun for the fans. And it'd be a different type of fun for the fans,
Right.
So no, we don't have any of the players playing in the leagues.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we can get the past players to get in there though.
Yeah, and it's still cool to be a part of something that like Austin Ekeler has his hands on, Ray Lewis, Brian Dawkins, all those guys. So
for sure.
And who wouldn't want to compete for, Commanders Eagles tickets? That sounds pretty sweet to me. So.
Yeah, game jerseys. Like, good luck finding any of my game jerseys because I buy them all. But so now we're giving away game jerseys in that as well. And we also have some cool things that we do. Like league wide across all the leagues. Like, for the example, first week it's like called the backfield boom. So if your 2 running backs score the highest between all the different leagues, like, you're getting one of our sponsored prizes. So weekly there's giveaways going. Obviously at the end of the year there's giveaways going. We also have videos that we'll be getting from the guys that we'll be sharing with everyone that's supporting their leagues as well. So we're really trying to give it a community feel, like you feel like you're part of something special, but also helping out the community at the same time with your donation.
Awesome, man. I'll be sure to put all of that in the show notes as well. So anybody, Austin, you said it's charitydraft.com. I'll be sure to put that
charitydraft.com, or you can Google charity draft and it'll pop up.
Charity draft. Otherwise, just scroll down on this video and we'll have the link right in there. Just smash that link. So that is sweet, man. All right. I wanted to hop into some rapid fire. Like, I always like to incorporate audience questions into these things.
Okay.
So are you down for a little bit of rapid Q&A?
Let's do it. Let's see what the audience. Let's see if your audience is. Are they tuned in and detailed with their questions, or are they knuckleheads just throwing out random stuff? Let's see.
Definitely a lot of both. And I keep in mind I filtered some of this out too, right? Some of the obvious stuff, like what's it like playing with Jaden Daniels? Like, I know what you're gonna say there. We don't need to get into that. All right, I got to start out with my wife actually. Okay, because when I told her that I booked this interview, she goes, she's not a football person. She watches it because I do, but she's like, Austin Ekeler, how do I know that name? How do I know that name? And then she go, you know where I'm going with this, don't you? She goes, is that Melanie Wilkins' husband? And I'm like, what are you talking about? And so anyway, she wanted to know how you guys met, how you started dating. Is it a classic case of like one of you slid into the other one's DMs? Like, who reached out to who first?
Yes, that is my wife. Yes, I'm married to her. And it is the modern day love story of the slid into the DMs. I slid into her DMs.
Okay.
We were both in LA at the time, and I reached out to her, and she a month later responded to me. And that was about 4.5 years ago now. We've been married for over a year now, so it's been all sunshine, and looking forward to keep the family going.
She made you wait a month. I love that, man.
Yeah, she maybe sweated out. Okay, maybe it wasn't, maybe she wasn't feeling it. I don't know.
No, my wife's original question was she was going to ask you if you could convince me to get rid of my mustache, but I'm like, that is not, it's not happening. So we'll just skip that one.
I will never change. Never, ever.
Hey, you know the phrase, man, happy wife, happy life. So, I mean, that's between you and her. I don't know if I can give advice on that one.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a part of me that does it just because I know she hates it, but I'm sure you can imagine what that's like. My next question here, and again, I'm just keeping it in the family real quick. My son Decker, he's 9 years old. He always wants to know, like, if you have a favorite Pokemon, but I'll tell you what, I actually want to skip that one and ask you this. Last night, he had his first taste of playoff sports, right? He had Little League Baseball. I coached the team. Devastating loss. We were winning. We blew it. We lost in the last inning. My guy, he has been an emotional wreck for the last 12 hours, dude. Like, tears last night, tears this morning. Speaking to a professional athlete, what advice, if any, could you give to him about just picking himself up and moving on to the next thing? He's never experienced anything like this before. I know that might be a deep one, but I'm curious.
Yeah, no, I think as the caretaker and as the parent, I think it's good that situation has happened. I think we all need to endure some type of, heartstring moment that's pulling on us, whether it's loss or whether, it's something that you're disappointed in, because I think that helps create the character that we are, and it helps humble us. It helps us realize that, we don't always get what we want, and we always have to continue to work to try to make it so that we can. And so that kind of gives us more motivation to push forward. So I think that's a great moment that he had. Unfortunate for you guys, especially you're the coach. Sure. It still sucks, but as a father, I think that's a great moment for his character. But what I would tell him at this point is, guess what? We compete. Sometimes we don't get what we want, but guess what? We're not going to stop working, because we're going to try to continue to do it and go back again and get them next time. because hard work will continue to pay off. So that's what I would tell them at that age anyway. It's like, hey, it sucks. Let it hurt because it hurts. I'm hurting with you. But guess what? We're going to come back and we're going to be even better next year because we're going to work our butt off to get ready. So that's what I would tell the little man. So let him know.
He watches every episode, so I'm looking forward to he hears it from me, but I'm like, maybe if he hears it from you, it'll be a little bit
just keep working. Hey, we were one game away from the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I probably cried a bunch too. We almost made it to the Super Bowl. And so, hey, guess what? I've been working my butt off. I've been in the weight room. I've been running. I've been getting myself ready. And guess what? We're going to go again. And I guess what? This time, our goal is set, making it all the way. But it starts with working hard and then getting back to where we were at. So keep going, little guy.
Awesome, dude. I appreciate that. I can't wait for him to watch this. But speaking of Washington, Dusty Ross, one of my members, he wants to know, all right, you were a free agent in 2024. Were there other teams interested besides Washington? And if so, who, if you're willing to share? And why did you choose Washington?
Yeah, there were a few other teams that were interested, but it was more of preliminary talks, nothing like contract level. So it was more of like, hey, if they want to come in, that's great, but we're seeking somebody else. And so it's more of we're interested, but not really ready to commit yet,
sure.
Which is not a bad thing. That's good that you have interest. I know Tom Telesco is out here with the Raiders. We're looking at them. I think there's something going on in Green Bay. I see the Titans were one of the teams as well.
Okay.
But these, again, take it with a grain of salt. This is just maybe some agent, talk and just trying to keep the relationship open and ready potentially. But the Commanders were the ones that came and were like, yes, we would love to have Austin here. We feel like he'd fit in with kind of our current situation. Here's some money putting on the table. This is what we're willing to offer. So like, okay, that, catches our eye, because it's all talk until we, start putting the dollar amount on the table. Now it's business. So that was why I ended up out here in Washington, which was a great opportunity. I actually really loved kind of the setup too. I saw what they saw. My old head coach is the running back coach, so has some familiarity there. And also going back to kind of my Melvin Gordon splitting kind of days, where I feel really one of the most efficient times in my life. So I think that's what showed last year. Last year was actually one of my most efficient years, even though I missed a few games because of concussions. But looking forward to getting back out there.
Awesome, man. Love it. One last one for you, if that's cool. I thought this was interesting. My guy Kevin Zart says, think fantasy football here, not real football. Think fantasy. You can have any quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end, but they must be from different teams in the NFC East. So you got to have a Cowboy, an Eagle, a Giant, and a Commander, but only one quarterback, one running back, one wide receiver, one tight end. That one's tough.
Well, I'm going to take me at running back because that's the only thing I can control in fantasy football. I'm taking myself. My role has changed a little bit, but your boy is still consistent. So I'm going to say that.
It's PPR too, so we're good.
Absolutely. There we go. Absolutely. Even better. I'll take Jalen Hurts because I want the tush push, touchdowns. Those are just easy touchdown points.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb.
Okay.
As my receiver. Oh no, I'm gonna go Neighbors. Sorry, I'm going Neighbors.
Yep.
As my receiver. Wait, I need a tight end still.
Yep. So that would leave you with Ferguson, I guess. Jake Ferguson.
Okay, we'll go with Jake Ferguson. There we go.
That's good. I like that. Good stuff, man. All right, dude. I know we're at time. Hey, anybody watching, by the way, Austin was talking about giveaways that he's going to be doing with Charity Draft. I'm also going to be doing one right here in this episode. Austin Ekeler, Washington Commanders jersey, sponsored by our partner, our friend BS Collectibles in Wind Lake, Wisconsin. Austin, what are the chances you remember signing this thing in June of 2024? Probably not. You probably rattled off like 100 of them. But
I think I was in a hotel actually out here in Las Vegas when I did all those. So
nice. Well, here it is. We got it here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So
there it is. They're all over the place. I love it. Well, good luck to whoever wins that. And hey, I hope it means something to you if you do, because that number's meant a lot to me, and it's been a journey to make that name hopefully worth something to people like yourselves.
Yeah, man. Awesome, dude. I know we're at time. In fact, we're over time. Super sorry about that, Austin. But man, it's been a blast. I can't thank you enough for joining us in the basement. Any final thoughts, any last words that you want to share about Charity Draft or pretty much anything else that's near and dear to the heart?
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure, just at least I would go check out Charity Draft just to see if there's some guys that are on there that you're interested in. We only have 20 guys right now. This is the first year we've expanded it, so we're expecting to have way more next year. This is more of our expansion kind of trial. So really looking forward to make an impact in the community, but also have a good time at the same time. And I know this is the basement, so don't spend too long in the basement. You got to get out there and keep pushing yourselves. Micah, I appreciate you sharing your story a little bit about yourself and your journey, and I hope people are inspired by that, because this life that we live is controlled by ourselves, and things that we can control is our energy. And our energy will hopefully give us opportunities to push ourselves in the right direction, or at least give us that feeling that we are, which is really what I think is fulfillment in life right now. So appreciate you having me on, and looking forward to hearing who gets the jersey and fantasy this year.
Yeah, awesome, man. Really appreciate having you on here.
Heck yeah.
To celebrate today's conversation with Austin Ekeler, I am giving away this autographed Austin Ekeler jersey to one lucky winner, courtesy of our friend and partner, BS Collectibles. Now, joining the giveaway is pretty easy. First, all you have to do is like this video. Second, subscribe to the Basement Brewed Fantasy Football YouTube channel so you don't miss future episodes. And third, join my email list, because that's how I'm going to contact the winner. You can find the link to join the email list in the description of this very episode. And if you want a bonus entry in the giveaway, share this video on social media and tag me, Mikey Henninger, or Basement Brewed Fantasy Football, because every share on social media equals one bonus entry in the giveaway. That's it. Like this episode, subscribe to the Basement Brewed Fantasy Football YouTube channel, share this episode. You do those things and you're in the giveaway. Big thanks to BS Collectibles for hooking us up. Big thanks to Austin Ekeler for joining the show. And big thanks to you for watching. I will see you on the fantasy football field. Cheers. This brew's for you.